Okay, so this is the final video. What we're going to do here is we're going to dimension everything that's on the title blocks or the working drawings. And once we have that complete, the train engine is done. But what I first want you to do is I want you to open up the body, because when I originally made the holes on here, I made a minor mistake. So I want you to go in here and then I want you to double click on the hole. You guys have this one selected. I already changed mine to this. Okay, you have to change it to this hole setting here. Okay, and you want to make sure that it says 0.25 down here, 1/4 inch 20 UNC. We want to make sure that we do full depth. That's the threading. We want to make sure it's the full depth, and you want to make sure this says 0.875. So we want to select this one, make sure these two are the same as mine, then click full depth and click OK. Then I want you to go into your second hole, same thing. You're going to unselect this one, you're going to select this one, and then you're going to go full depth, make sure these two are the same, and make sure this is 0.875, and then click OK. You had threading over here before. If you had that threading, you're going to want to delete that threading, because the threading is inside of it now. We didn't have to use the thread command. We just used this thread command internally inside of that hole command. Okay, so once you've done that, I want you to save it, and you'll see why we did that here in a second. Okay, now I want you to click on the front view here, and I want you to remove hidden lines, because we don't want hidden lines. They're going to get too confusing with this. Okay, so once we have that hidden lines removed, we're going to have a lot of dimensions that go on here, so those hidden lines are going to be somewhat confusing, so we want to remove them. Then what we want to do is you want to go up here to annotate. Okay, the first thing I want to do before I start dimensioning anything is I want to put center marks in all of the holes. So I have center marks there, center marks here, 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 there. You want to make sure you put a center mark in the middle, because we need that dimension to the center of this. Then I want a center mark here, 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 there, and I believe that's it. Yep, that's it for this. Okay, now we're going to start out with all of the dimensions off of the front view that we can do. So we want to start out with the overall width, and you want to drag that out until we need room, because we're going to have some smaller dimensions that come underneath. We're going to have this one, and we're going to have from this line here to the center mark, so we know the location of that circle. Now I want to do the radius of this circle. So if you drag that out, there's the radius of that circle. Okay, so you just want to click and slide out, and that radius should pop up. Then I want to go from here to this center mark, so we know where the reference of that circle is height-wise. Here we have the reference of it width-wise. Then let's do the center mark from here to here. And we normally don't go below, but we can't really go anywhere else for this one. So for here and here, then we have the references of those holes. Now this is why we change. Okay, so look, if you have something like this, I want you to double click on it and back arrow. So if you ever have those goofy shapes, I have no idea why those show up. We want to make sure to get rid of those so it looks nice and neat. Now I want to go to hole and thread, And I want to select this circle. And we don't want our why is that not popping up? Let's see something here. Whole. Okay, I need to go back in because for some reason I get these lightning bolts to go away. This dimension is not right, so let's go back in here. Let's go to these holes. I have the depth 0.875. It says 20 UNC, but it should show me the depth of the hole too, and it's not showing me the depth. Let's see if I take away full depth and I do this distance here. Let's see what happens when I save that. Let's get rid of this full depth. And then we have this. I can make this. That's fine right there. So here, I got rid of the full depth. Did this. Let's see what happens when we save it, if the proper dimensioning shows up. Okay. I am not sure why this is not showing up, but when I click this hole command here, that is not working. It was just working just fine. Hang on one second. Okay, so I figured out what it was. So right here, this is what it should be. Okay, 1/4 inch 20 UNC. That's just the threading type, the 2B, and then the depth of the hole is 0.875. So what I did was, you have to make sure you go in here. You got to unclick full depth. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Go ahead and unclick full depth, and we have 0.875, 0.875. Click OK. Make sure you do that to both of them. Click OK, then save it. Then come back in here, and when you do it, let's get rid of these lightning bolts here. You have this, okay? Now there's one thing that we need to change. The one thing that we need to change is this should say times 4 because we have 4 different holes. Okay? Now we have that. Let's scoot this over just a little bit. Scoot this over a little bit. And let's put this on the other side. So we have, you don't normally want to do extension lines, but if we do this, then we'll have room to dimension this stuff over here. Okay, so let's click on this. Let's go to hole, click right here, and our extension lines are going to go through a little bit, but that's fine. There's no way to get around it. So double click and then times 4. Oh, I need a space there. Space and then a space. There we go. Okay, so everything off of the front view is done. Now what we want to do is let's go to the right side view. We want to do the depth, which is 2. We want to do the radius of this, which is 0.75. We want to do the height from here to here for the front of the body. Then we want to go from here to here. This should be 0.875. Good. Then from here to here, let's see if I can drag this guy down here. Okay. Let's do this over on this side. Here, here, there we go. And here, and here. Let's go off of this one. dimension here, here. There we go. Okay, now we just have to do the locations of these holes here, from here to here, and from here to here. And let's drag this guy over on the other side. Dimension here to here. Let's do this one from here to here. I don't know why that's not letting me put that on the outside. Okay, so if I see how this extension line is going through, if I just take this guy and pull it, it'll go on the other side. Then my extension lines are not going through, and it looks a lot neater like that. Okay, so now we have everything off of the right side. Now there's a couple things we want to add to the back. We want to do the radius of this guy. And when you do radiuses, you want that extension line to be at an angle. Don't do it straight up, make it at an angle. We want this hole and we want 2 dimensions to give it the location of the hole. There and there. Same thing applies. Let's take this guy and come on. Not sure why this is not working. Dimension here, here. There we go. Just bring it down there. Okay. Couple more things on the top and we are done with this one. The location of this hole, we want from here to here, from here to here, and we want the hole. There we go. Okay, we need to add text too, because remember how we filleted this whole thing. So you want to go to text, and let's just put it right here, and let's make this 0.125. Let's try, yeah, 0.125 is fine. So leave it at 0.125, then just write note, round all edges, radius 0.1, enter, and then space over, except for drilled holes. Okay, now we have a note. Move that over so it's not in the part. And this one is done. Okay, let's go to the next sheet. Next sheet has a stack. We're going to start out with the height for the stack. I do not have this labeled. I'm not sure why these aren't labeled. You guys should already have all yours labeled. I believe I added that text before. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we have train body. So we want to go text again. Make your text slightly larger for this one. And do train body. Okay, train body. Now, next one, we want to go to the stack. Let's add text first. We want to go to text. Let's put it down here, make this 2.4, and stack. And this one, we want to write the scale because these all have different scales. And let's bring that up here. Okay. Now we want a dimension, overall width, overall height. Make sure you go to the bottom line. That one. Okay, we have this from here to, nope, not that one. Dimension from here to here. This should be 1.5. And then from here to here is 0.25. We need the width of the base. We need the chamfer, so you want to go to chamfer and click on this little edge here. And then your chamfer comes out. We want to do this angle. So we want to go to we want to make a line here. So let's go to place view, start sketch here. We want to put a construction line here. So we want to go to line. Let's just make it a regular line. That's fine. Put that line there. Finish sketch. And now from that line, we can give it this angle. If you start really low, here, there we go. Put that up there, 15 degrees. We need a center point for these, but this one is different. This one is a center line bisector. And just click these two, puts that center point in there. Okay, now we want to go to the top view and we want to do a center point in the top view. And you want to keep clicking all these circles until it goes all the way outside of the part like that. Excuse me. And then the one thing we have here is we have hole, and there's our hole. It's that circle there. We put a hole right in the middle of it. This is the diameter right here of the inside circle, because this is a counter bore, and here's the diameter of the outside circle. Okay, now we want to go to text again. Put text down here, change this 0.24. Let's go hitch, peg, scale, 2 to 1. Okay, move that up here so it's in the borders. Let's move this up just a little bit. And same thing, we want a dimension from the top, 0.65, from this point to that point, 0.5. What the heck? That's not what I wanted to do. From here to there. There we go. The base. The width of the peg. And then the spherical radius, if you just click on this and kind of drag, that'll pop up. And then, once again, if you get these silly symbols, just go in there, double click on it, delete it. Same thing, we want to center point this guy. There we go. And this one's kind of rounded on the top, so we don't really need to center point that. Okay, and the last thing is just this right here, the diameter of the top of it. Now, text, hitch, make sure you change it to 0.24, hitch, magnet, scale, 2 to 1. Alright, that's there. Now we want to do the height. And we want to center point this guy. Click all the way out, and then we just have 2 diameters. Here and here. Okay, now those guys are done. You got to make sure everything is inside the borders, and you want to try to make this as neat as possible. Okay, notice how all the dimensions are staggered from largest to smallest as they get closer to the part. That's proper dimensioning. All right, this one we want to do a section view of. Okay, let's label it first, text. Wheel. We already have the scale for this one. Make this bigger. Okay, now we want to do a section view. So we want to go back to place views, section, and I want to click this, and I want to find that perforated line. Once I have that, I want to click, come straight down through the part, right-click, continue, and then we have a section view. Now we want to do a detailed section view. You guys may have already did this. I don't know why mine's not saved. Detailed section view. Let's go here. We want to make sure to get that. Detailed section view. And let's move this over here a little bit. Okay, perfect. Move this down slightly. All right. So when we dimension these, we want to give it 3 radiuses off the front view. We want to go to annotate, dimension. We want to give it this one. One radius. This one. 2 radius. And the last one is the center circle. You kind of got to go like this and drag it out. And there's the third one. That one actually gave the diameter, same thing. I don't know why it puts these silly shapes in there. Shapes and symbols. Okay, now we want to go to this. And we actually want to center point. Forgot to do that here. Center point, center point, center point, center point, center point, center point, center point. And we want another one here. And we want to give these to the diameter. So this one and this one. And then this one is a hole. Hole command. Okay. If this pops up like this, we have to go in because we want this precise. It's not 0.063, it's 0.0625. So if that happens, you need to go in there and go to precision and tolerance and make this all right. So to change this, you want to right click, go to edit dimension style. This pops up. You want to go into tolerance, and we want to change this to 10 thousandths. That should have changed that, and it didn't. All right, so when you click on this, so what I did here is double click on this. You want to go to precision and tolerance, and you want to unclick this, and you want to change this to 10 thousandths. That was the depth, sorry. We want to go back in here again, and we want to change, that's the primary, this one too. Let's change both. I don't, oh here, this one has to be to, sorry, this has to be to 100 thousandths for our 0.0625. Not that one, just this one. There we go. All right, so that one's done. Now we want to do the angles. Dimension from here to here, 15 degrees, and from here to here, this one's kind of tricky. Dimension from here to there, there we go. Okay, move this over a little bit. All right, now we want to do everything off of here. Same thing, we want to bisect our center point. We want to do center points here as well, and there. Okay, and we want a dimension from this to this, should be 1 inch. Another bisector goes here, not like that. Might have to zone in or zero in, get a little closer. There we go. Okay, from here to here, 0.70, and here to there, 0.25. Okay, we want to do a radius of this right here. This one. Come on, man. Same thing. So once you get this one coming out here, we want this to be 0.0625 as well. So we want to go into precision and tolerance. We want to change these units here. And we want to go to OK. And then we want to double click this. And this one is times 4, because there's 4 of them. It's that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay? So we have those. Now we want to do the width. Let me take this and move this over just a little bit so I have room to do the width. Dimension here to here, the width. And then we want to go from here to here. We want the radius of this top. And we want this dimension from here to here. And this dimension from here to here. Dimension here to here. Put that one up there too. Okay, this one gets a little bit confusing, but there's really nothing we can do about it. And I believe that's it for this one. Okay, so the wheel's done now. Get rid of all these lightning bolts. I can collapse this one, collapse this one. Okay, so we have 2 more left. That's it. Okay. So we want to do the axle peg, the linkage arm, and the linkage peg, and then the cow catcher, and we are done. So let's add text to the axle peg. Change this. So axle peg, and the scale of the axle peg is 2 to 1. I think it's 2 to 1. Hang on one second. 2 to 1. So text, axle peg, scale, 2 to 1. Okay, let's take this and pull that over there. Lift this up a little bit. Okay, we want to do a section view with this one. Okay, so place views, section view. I know I already made a video that showed this. I'm not sure why mine didn't save, but it's fine. I can show you again. No big deal. Okay. Now we want to do the overall height from here to here. We want to do this little area right here from there to there. And we want to do from here to the bottom. Okay, we have those. Maybe drag this out a little bit further. There we go. Okay. We want to do the threading, because we threaded this. So hole and thread, just click the side and it'll give you the threading. We want the radius of this here. And that's it on that view. We want the depth of this for the section view. Once again, silly symbols. Let's get rid of those. I believe that's it for that. Then we want to go up here, and we want to go from here to here. Should be 5:30 seconds. Why is that not working? Dimension, here, here, there we go. And 2 radiuses. Dimension, radius, and radius. And that's it for the axle peg. Now, we want to go to the linkage arm. Okay, in the linkage arm, we want to put a center point in it, center bisector, and we want to label this guy, text, here, linkage peg, scale, 2 to 1, and we want to do the overall height from here to here. Oops, not there. Here to here. And then we want to go from here to here. We want to do the diameter of the shaft. Okay, this is another one. This one is supposed to be 0.0625, so we need to change this to 100 thousandths. And we need our radius. We're probably going to have to change this one too, because this is 0.1562, so let's change this. And that's that for that one. Now, last one is, even though this doesn't appear to be 3.5, it takes into account that we use that break line, and it still gives us the proper dimension of 0.35. And we want radius, same thing. This is supposed to be 0.1875, so change this to 100 thousandths. Sorry, did the wrong one. Nope. That one. And this is probably going to give us a diameter here of 0.128. We want this. to the center of the hole. From here to here. And we have to give it the width. So I need to project a view because I don't have the right side. Now I have the right side. Let's dimension the width. And that's done. We have to label that. Linkage arm, so text here. Scale for this one is 1 to 1. And let's move this guy in here. Okay. Oh, a couple things I forgot. Chamfers. We need a chamfer here, so go to chamfer, click this guy, chamfer, why aren't you working? There we go. And same thing over here. We want to click this and that. Okay, now that one's done. All right, now these views here, we need a couple section views off of this one. So we have the back projected to the right of the right side. We want to put center points in that. We want to do bisectors on the posts here. And up here. And this one here, we want to do an auxiliary view of this and this and pull that out. And then we want to do a section view here. We want to start it in the center, and this is somewhat tricky. You want to go here and right about to this line right here. Go there. Once you have that, click, drag that down, and you want to go to where you have perforated lines that are from there to there. See how I have both perforated lines there? So now when I drag this out, when I add my first dimension here, when I annotate from here to here, this is the shell at 0.1 when we use the shell command. This one is the extrusion of the offset that we made on the face. And if you don't do that section view just right, it won't come out at 0.05. So that one's somewhat tricky. You have to make sure those perforated lines are there. This one, if I didn't turn and face this, this is the offset that we gave it. Watch what happens if I add that same dimension here. That's not right. So that's why we had to use that auxiliary view so we could get that dimension there. Now we want to do the overall width. We want to go from here to here. Then we want to go from here to here. And the last one, we can't get around doing it anywhere else but down here, which is fine. Then we can do our height here. We don't even need to do the offset because we already did that over here. So now we just want to do the width. From here to here should be, oh yeah, that's 0.75, but I want to do the overall too. And then from here to here, let's drag this guy on the other side. That's fine. It's in the middle of the extension line, but it's not that big of a deal. And then we want to do this little guy. You want to make sure you go all the way to the end. And we have that. We want to make sure that we add the chamfer. Chamfer, click that little edge, click this. There's our chamfer. Now we need to do hole locations for the posts on the back. That is from here to here, should be 0.625, and it is. Hole locations from here to the bottom, 0.125. From here to here, 0.275. Here to here is 0.125, and then let's move this chamfer. Let's just delete that and do it again. There we go. Diameter of the posts, and this is going to be times 3, so I want to go into text, space, times, space, 3. Let me do that again so it's in the lines. Dimension, oops, wrong one. Dimension, it's got to be the outer one. See if we can fit this in here. Perfect. And I believe that's it for this one. And the only thing I have left to do is name this. So go to text. Cow, change it to 0.24. Cow, catcher. And that's that. Make sure to get this out of here where it's in there, but it's not on anything. And that is all of the parts fully dimensioned.